U.S. farmers directly in the line of fire when it comes to those Russian sanctions. The American Farm Bureau says U.S. ag is projected to lose about $850 million of annual exports. More now from Daniel Renches.
Of the $850 million the American Farm Bureau says will be lost in agricultural export trade to Russia, the biggest chunk is the $310 million in chicken meat. It represents about 7% of total U.S. poultry exports. But contrast that with 1997. Russia accounted for 40% of U.S. poultry exports.
It's still an important market for us. Last year, in terms of volume, it ranked number 2 as the export destination for our chicken, and in terms of value, it ranked number 3. So it is still an important market for us, but not nearly as important as it was a few years ago.
Moscow banning many agricultural imports from countries supporting trade sanctions against Russia means U.S. chicken producers are getting on the phone seeking other buyers. That job's been made easier because of an increased push towards diversification in the last decade.
We sell a lot to many countries, but we probably sell some agricultural products to almost every country in the world. So there's a lot of diversification in exporting. But we've also had, of course, with Russia specifically, we'd like to do more, but we've had these ongoing issues.
Russia has in recent years restricted imports of beef and pork, citing concerns over differing production and sanitary standards. This year, many such restrictions on trade were lifted, and there were several months of normalized trade before this recently imposed 12-month ban, which some think will be extended by Moscow.
I don't see why these sanctions would come off. I think we're going to be in this what I would call a permafrost phase for really a considerable period of time.
The ability to seek new markets for current U.S. products is also made easier because unlike the European fruit and vegetable producers, most U.S. exports to Russia are not as perishable. That's certainly the case for U.S. almond and pistachio nut producers in California, who'll lose $170 million of trade to Russia. But that product can easily be stored and sold elsewhere. So despite Russia being the 5th largest agricultural importer in the world, the US only sold 1% of its agricultural exports last year, amounting to $1.3 billion US dollars, meaning this agricultural ban will be felt, but its impact will be modest. Daniel Renches, CCTV, Washington.